Good afternoon, everyone. It's Gina from Gina K Designs, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. This is a very special broadcast of Stampin' Chat Live. We're doing a Monday crafternoon because we have a very special collaboration going on today. My friend Christopher Allen from Brutus Monroe and I have collaborated on 2 products, and we're really excited about it. So I thought it would be really fun to have him on the show today, and we would be able to show you these products, and we would be able to make some really fun cards. So you guys know that I love to collaborate with my friends in the industry, and Christopher Allen and I have been friends for a really long time. In fact, we've been friends for so long. We have lunch dates sometimes where we FaceTime together. We text each other all the time, and we were just kind of laughing before we came on live that it took us this long to collaborate on something. But maybe good things come to those who wait, because this is amazing what we have today. So I'm just giving people a chance to get in. Welcome, everyone. I see lots of you coming in from all over the USA and all around the world. It's great to see you for this special broadcast. Now, just a little bit of housekeeping before we bring Christopher in. I wanted you guys to know that it is spring, and Tom and I are changing up our schedule a little bit, our live schedule. So up until now, we've gone live on Monday nights and Wednesday at noon. We're going to shift everything over one day, and we're going to start going live on Tuesday nights and Thursday at noon. So we're kind of have those midweek days covered. And then instead of Friday for my 5-minute card project, I'm going to post that over the weekend. So this way on the weekend, you can have something fun to craft that only takes you 5 minutes or less. Well, 10 minutes or less. You know me, even my 5-minute cards go sometimes 8 and 9 minutes. But I will post all of that on Facebook, also here on YouTube and on my community tab, and remind you of the new schedule. Yeah, you know, every once in a while, I think last summer we changed our schedule. We like to mix it up a little bit. And also sometimes, you know, Monday nights, I mean, a lot of people weren't able to watch us during football season because they had football things to do. So maybe this Tuesday, Thursday schedule will work out better for all of us. We'll see. So, and remember, there's always the replay. So if you have something going on, you can watch the replay. So let me just bring Tom in and we can say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hey, happy crafternooners.
How are you?
I'm great.
Having a good week?
Yeah.
Yeah? Have a good weekend?
Let's see. I don't remember. Does that mean something?
Yes, it does. Tom and I, we've got a rental property, and he and I put up 22 mini blinds yesterday, and I feel so powerful because Tom let me run the drill. I got to run a drill, guys.
Yeah, baby.
It is different than an embossing gun, and it's different than any of the tools I'm used to working, but I got to do the drill. So I was thinking, Tom, since we were able to put up those mini blinds successfully, maybe we should try our hand at one of those flip it shows, and we can flip a whole house. I feel like if you can put up a mini blind, you can remodel anything, right?
Yeah, we'll put in a sump pump or a spump.
A spump. Oh my goodness. No, I could barely, I was drilling my holes all the wrong size, and Tom was compensating by using different size screws and just pumping me up and making me feel good about it. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Great job.
All right. Well, it's great to see you, Tom. Now we're going to bring in our celebrity guest. He has been my friend for a super long time. He's got a fantastic company called BrutusMonroe.com. He'll tell you where that name came from. Let's welcome him, Christopher Allen. Hi, Christopher.
Hi, everyone. Hello, hello.
It is great to see you.
It's wonderful to see you as always, my friend.
So, Christopher, tell us, because before I knew you, and now that I know you, I mean, I know you. But before I got an opportunity to meet you, when I saw the name Brutus Monroe, I thought that was your name.
No.
I thought you were Brutus Monroe. And I bet
Yeah.
a lot of people do think that, but
Yes.
Brutus Monroe is not your name. Tell everybody how the name Brutus Monroe came about.
Absolutely. Yeah. Constantly, we have that misconception when folks come into the Brutus Monroe retail location or even online, and we still get tons of emails about it. But Brutus Monroe was actually my dog's name. So Brutus Monroe, Brutus, he actually passed away about 3.5 years ago. He was a rescue dog. I actually rescued him from an unfortunate dog fighting ring. And he became ill, not ill whenever he passed, but ill beforehand. And I was coming up with a name for the company, and I didn't know what to call it. And I told this little guy whenever he was ill in my arms that, if you make it through this, little Brutus Monroe, you've been through so much, I have to name the company after you. It just makes sense. So in doing that, we took him to the vet and found out that he was diabetic. And he lived for almost 4 years after that with insulin injections. But he almost came out of that vet's office with a little bit of his head held high, knowing that he would be getting, as a company named after him, a bigger bed and extra treats and all of those things. So Brutus Monroe just made sense to me because he had been through so much and had persevered through so much that I wanted to name my company after the strongest thing that I knew at the time. And that was that little puppy. So Brutus Monroe was born that day, and the concept of the brand of being a good mix of masculine and feminine, and it doesn't get much more masculine than Brutus, and certainly not more feminine than Monroe. So
Absolutely.
Brutus Monroe just made sense.
That's fantastic. And you have a new puppy now, right?
I do. We have Mini Monroe now, and
so cute.
little Mini Monroe. She's a little gal miniature pincher, which Brutus was a miniature pincher, and I got her in 2019. She just turned 3, and we now have the Mini Monroe Art Studio, which is named after her.
That's awesome. Now, people are asking, where is your store located? Brutus Monroe is a beautiful store.
Thank you.
And tell them where you're located.
We're located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So we are right outside of the city. I mean, literally, you could trip and you could be in the city from where our store is. We're halfway really between the airport and the city.
That's awesome. I need to get a trip out there. I'm originally from Pennsylvania, so maybe passing through, I can come out and visit you sometime. I've been dying to see it. And if you look at the pictures, or if you follow Christopher on social media, he is a master at decorating the front windows of his store. And it looks beautiful. So I can't wait to come and visit.
Yes, the front windows are what sold the store, really, to me, because I was always obsessed with Macy's and all of the different windows whenever I was younger, and I could not wait to decorate those big, giant windows.
Yeah, well, you do amazing work there, and it's a really fun store. They don't just have crafting supplies; they've got all kinds of home decor and just really cool things. It's like a destination.
Yeah.
So if you're anywhere near Pittsburgh, make sure you go and visit them.
Stop by.
Yeah. All right. So Christopher, I was telling everybody earlier that you and I have known each other for a long time. We've been friends forever, and I can't believe that we haven't done a collaboration until now.
Yeah, I know. It's strange. I think the thing is, we've been friends for so long, and our collaboration really for the longest time has just been our friendship. I mean, I think that, with our, quick calls and texts and, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? It almost felt like we already did a collaboration, being friends, but didn't necessarily do a product collaboration. So when this opportunity arose, I was like, we have to. I mean, it just makes sense.
We have to, absolutely. And we have to give a little bit of credit to Michael Boyd, your right-hand man there, because he contacted me, and I think he had a little bit to do with bringing this all together. So thank you, Michael.
Everything to do.
And I hope he's watching from New York right now.
I believe he is. Yes, Michael is our director of retail operations here at Brutus Monroe, and he is that and so much more. He is. Has become such an incredible designer and product development individual, and he really is the one that said, he came into my office and he said, we really should be doing something with Gina. You guys are such close friends, and it just makes sense to have a product. And he was the one that got the ball rolling, and he's the one that brought this product to life for us.
Well, I'm excited about it. Now,
Yeah.
one of the things that most of you know, maybe some of you don't know,
Mhm.
every year there's a company called Pantone, and
Mhm.
Pantone sets the color standard for just about every industry that has color standards,
Mhm.
like the paper crafting industry, the fashion industry, and beyond. Um, and every year they choose a color that they call the color of the year.
Mhm.
And this year, the color of the year is called Very Perry.
Mhm.
And what Michael and Christopher and I realized is that Very Perry is very close to Gina K Designs' Wild Wisteria, this
Mhm.
purple with that bluish undertone ink. So Brutus Monroe, being the embossing powder kings in the industry, they came out with an embossing powder. Look at this powder, guys. This powder is called Wisteria Lane,
Mhm.
and it is the perfect complementary color. Let's just switch to my overhead, Tom. The perfect complementary color to Wild Wisteria. It's the same exact color family, but when you blend these together, you get that little bit of light and dark that everybody loves. So we're going to be using this today in our cards. And who doesn't love a good purple, in honor of the Very Perry Pantone color of the year? Now, shall we show them the stamp set?
Yes, absolutely.
So this is our brand new collaboration stamp set. And I'm going to zoom in just a hair here so you guys can see this a little bit better. This is called Seeds of Joy. And when we were first talking about it, Michael is so funny. He's like, here's what I envision, a
Yep.
seed packet. And he was going on and on. I'm like, okay, what do you want me to design now? And he
Mhm.
said, well, I think a seed packet and some other stuff. And I said, all right, let me run with the seed packet, because I always think of you and I as we've been sowing seeds of friendship forever.
Absolutely.
But then I thought I changed the name to Seeds of Joy because I put that into the seed packet image itself.
Yeah.
So this stamp set has this huge, and I mean huge, here's just an example. Here's a card base. You can see how big this is. It like is the whole size of the card base. See that? And so it's got this huge floral design. Then it's got this same image up here in the seed packet. So you've got the seed packet, the seeds that would actually create this flower. And the seed packet says, Seeds of Joy, you mean the world to me. Life is better because of you. Then it's got this tiny version of this flower that you could stamp on the envelope. You can stamp on the back of your card with the Handmade with Love. It's also got all of these greetings in this really pretty font. Your friendship means so much. We were thinking about each other when we did that, right, Christopher?
Absolutely.
Moments with you are seeds of joy. Sweet friend, happy Mother's Day. Mother is another name for love. And hi, Christopher's mom. I know she's watching.
She is.
With love and prayers, birthday wishes, missing you, and for you. So this is the perfect stamp set for spring because you can do all your Mother's Day cards with this. And I was thinking about it, Christopher. I have Mother's Day stamp sets, but you can't keep sending your mom or the moms in your life the same card over and over. You got to mix it up. So yeah, so I think these greetings are really pretty and can be used with other stamps in your collection, but also with this big floral. This can be used all spring, all summer, and then just color it in bright autumn colors, and it can be a great autumn flower as well. All right. So, all right, Christopher. So we're going to make cards today, right?
We are.
All right. So what is your basic plan for today? What are you going to try to achieve?
So essentially, I have to give a shout out to Miss Betsy Burge, who is a incredible artist that is just happens to be a card maker as well. And she is on our inspiration team, and she created this just absolutely stunning card where she did like an emboss resist, but did it with watercolor paper. So normally we think of an emboss resist, at least I do, with using blending or, doing like you do the white cardstock, you do a clear embossing powder, then you blend over top and you can see the color underneath. So she did it with the beautiful Wisteria Lane. And then she added these beautiful colors. And I have it right here and I'll show it in the overhead, but I'm going to try to do her card justice. Because she just does such a beautiful job. And here it is,
Oh
you
my
can
God.
see it.
That's
you can see it at
gorgeous.
brutusmonroe.com. It's all of these images are, listed with the stamps from what our team has done. But I'm going to try to do what she has done and try to give it some justice. But it's just so interesting because of using the Wisteria Lane. It almost gives it a much softer feel than it would if you use like a white embossing or a black embossing. And I think it's going to be really pretty. Well, let's hope it's really pretty.
Oh,
But what are you doing, my friend?
So what I thought I would do is I'm going to use the Wisteria Lane embossing powder, and I'm going to use it on this. This is the Petite Flourish background stamp.
Okay.
So I thought that I would emboss this in Wisteria Lane, and then I do a little bit of Wild Wisteria ink blending on top to see how the two colors blend together.
Beautiful.
It's going to be a tone-on-tone look, which is going to be nice and subdued as kind of a background border. And then I was going to stamp a portion of this flower, and I was going to color it with some Prismacolor pencils and a little bit of Gamsol. So
Perfect.
We'll see how it all goes. All right.
Love it.
So I think the best way to do this, and this is the way Simon Hurley and I and Kathy Zilski and I have done it when we've done things together, we'll just start crafting,
Okay.
and then we'll just take turns telling people what we're doing. Does that make sense?
Perfect. That works for me. I love it.
All right. Well, I'm going to take the lead here then, and I'm
Okay.
going to just show you guys here what I'm going to do. I am going to stamp my background stamp using some embossing and watermark ink, and then I'm going to emboss it with the Wisteria Lane powder. And then I'm going to do ink blending using Wild Wisteria. So that's what I'm starting with. I'm going to go ahead and just cut this down to 5 inches by 3 3/4 of an inch. I want to get kind of the biggest panel I can because this is a big flower image. I'm still debating whether or not I want to use the seed packet in the center, but I think I'm going to go with this flower. Yeah, I think so. Okay. All right. So that's what I'm doing now. You have at it, Christopher.
Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking a piece of the aqua pigment watercolor paper that is already cut down to A2 size, which makes it so incredibly simple. You don't have to do any measurements or anything like that. And I love this paper in particular because it is a cold press paper, which seems to take the ink much, much better than a hot press paper. And of course, I'm going to be using my stick and stamp mat because, duh, it just makes stamping so much easier when you're using a stamp that's a little bit larger than your A2 size card base. So I'm just going to place my card base right here, or not card base, excuse me, my watercolor panel right here in the middle of these guidelines. And then it just sticks right there. It's not going to go anywhere. Then I'm going to grab also the large stamp image, and I'm going to place that right on top. And I'm just going to hit it with some embossing ink and also emboss with the beautiful Wisteria Lane embossing powder because I think it's going to become one of my new favorites because the one thing about the Wisteria Lane embossing powder that I don't know that a lot of people will know kind of right off the bat is it is an opaque powder. So the opaque powder is wonderful because you can use this beautiful purple on dark shades as well. So if you have like a beautiful craft, or you have a beautiful dark navy, or you have even a black cardstock, this will show up beautifully because the base of it is an actual opaque base.
That's great to know.
Oh, someone just asked what stamp platform I'm using. This is a Misty. It's just back in the day when I first got my Misty, I begged and begged and begged and begged and begged Miss Ileana to give me white rulers because pink really isn't my color. So she sent me these prototypes, and I've had these since she first did them. Now, the new Misty doesn't have labels anymore. So the new Misty, if you have it, it's actually, I believe, isn't it? It's like molded, right?
Yes, it's molded.
Okay. So you wouldn't be able to use these anymore on the new one. The new one doesn't, but this is actually my original Misty that I got when the Misty first launched. So it's a Misty. It just has white labels on it instead of the pink ones.
Well, that's what I have too. I have my original Misty has turquoise labels. Go figure.
Yeah.
All right, maybe we can go on split screen. That might be good, so everybody can see what we're both doing. So I've got my panel here embossed, and I'm starting right away here with the Wisteria Lane. Oh my God, this color.
Isn't it
Stop.
beautiful?
It's beautiful before you even heat it up.
Right? And it gets
Oh,
even
my
more
word.
vibrant once you heat it.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited here. This, you know, I always do things, I don't plan. You're much better at planning than me. I'm
Oh,
not
no,
a planner. Look at that. Look at that beautiful coverage.
So pretty.
Oh my gosh. So I use the Gina K Designs Embossing and Watermark ink pad for this.
Perfect.
And this with this powder, they really work. See, everything works well together with Gina K Designs and Brutus Monroe.
Yep.
Now, a couple people are asking where they can get the new stamp set and the new powder. And it's available at brutusmonroe.com, ginakdesigns.com, and also our friends at Simon Says Stamp are carrying these as well. So if you have other things that you want to get, you can always stop by there. All right, so I am going to emboss this, so it's going to get a little loud in here. I always heat up my tool first.
I'm getting ready to do mine as well. I just wanted to make sure that I have it all cleaned up. So with the stick and stamp mat, because so many ask about how to get your piece of paper off of the mat, all you got to do is you just simply give it a little bit of a curl, and you'll see it pops right up.
Yeah, that mat's pretty amazing. I have mine sitting right here for when I ink blend.
Popped right up. Oh yes, that's one of my I think ink blending is probably my favorite thing to use it for when you don't have an oversized stamp.
Definitely. All right, I'm just finishing up the embossing here. I'm just blown away with how beautiful this color is.
Wow. Look at that color.
So vibrant.
Stunning.
And what I like about this powder is it is just super smooth. It's like really nice, and it's got a little poof in it, but you still don't lose the detail. I don't know if you guys can see that. You didn't lose any detail in there. Love that.
Make sure it was super, super ultra fine, because we know that you love, love, love the ultra, ultra fine.
I do, and this is perfect. I'm not losing any detail. I was wondering about that, how it would work. Just making sure I got all the areas, because hey, I got this cool thing from Simon Says Stamp. Isn't that kind of cool? It's a great place to put your heat tool. I love that. This way I don't have a chance of burning my desktop. I love this thing. Okay. All right. So I'm just looking here. Yep, that looks pretty good. All right. So now I need to get my stick and stamp mat here, and I'm going to put my piece of cardstock on there. And then let me get my ink stand for my ink. Okay.
Not embossing. Sorry, everyone.
Nope, no problem. All right, so I'm going to use my purple blending brush, and I'm going to blend ink all over this. This is the Wild Wisteria ink, and I've got the Wisteria Lane on there. So we're going to see how these colors work together.
Perfect.
Oh, see, that's so pretty.
Oh, yes.
Oh, they really look good together.
Yes, yes, yes. And I'm going to grab my stick and stamp mat again, because we just showed the other day how you can use your stick and stamp mat also for watercoloring. And that is what I'm going to do, because your paper won't curl. It stays right in place. So it makes it very, very, very easy to do your watercoloring.
That's awesome. I love that. I love this mat. It's so great. It's great. It tucks right in the Misty. Fits right in the Misty. We have a bunch of them on order.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that looks so good. You know what I love about this, Christopher, too? Look, there's no speckling.
Perfect.
Like the embossing powder just stuck where I wanted it to stuck. I love it.
Perfect.
Love it so much.
Absolutely perfect. Makes it so simple.
Definitely. I'm going to darken it up even a little bit more, because you can see all that color. And then when I'm going to rub a paper towel on top just to remove any ink that's pooled on top of that embossing powder. So we get the true color of the embossing powder.
Absolutely. And I'm going to take the new Stick and Stamp pigment palette, which is just our new palette that can stick right onto the mat. But I'm not going to stick it onto the mat this time because I would like this to be centered. And I'm just going to take a couple of colors and I'm just going to add them to the little palette. And we're just going to start kind of just adding some pigment to, I'm using the Brutus Monroe Aqua pigments, which are our watercolor pigments. And I'm just going to kind of play around and just add some color, let it flow, let it kind of move around and, you know, let it do what it's going to do.
That's great. Oh, I love this is just, it's got all that texture in it and the little bit of shine. Oh yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so now I'm going to put that aside. Actually, I'm going to mount that onto, guess what color? I'm sure you have no idea. Black. You know, I use black on everything that I make. Yeah. But I'm going to do black on this. So I'm going to cut this down to 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Now, you could also cut these panels out using Master Layouts 1 die set if you're looking for an easier way to do your cutting. And I'm going to put that together. Honestly, this color, this just glows. It's spectacular. Okay. You know what, Jennifer? I've had the mat for a while and the mat does not lose its stick.
Yes.
You just wash it. Can you believe
it? I've seen a lot of questions about cleaning it. So you could clean it with just a gentle like dish detergent, but when all else fails, we do have the Squeaky Clean Matte Mist. It's in the scent of hydrangea. We also have an unscented, but the unscented we cannot keep in stock. Hopefully we'll have it again soon. But the Squeaky Clean Hydrangea Matte Mist is actually formulated with a much gentler detergent than our regular everyday stamp cleaner. And that's because we want to make sure that stick on there stays as sticky as long as it possibly can.
Makes sense. Yeah, I washed mine in the sink with just a little bit of dish detergent, and it came out perfect.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah, so easy. Okay, so I'm struggling to line things up. So I used a white card base there. All right, I'm going to put this aside now, and then I'm going to get another piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to get my Misty. Okay. I'll just show everybody. Here's my Misty, my color. There it is. Yep. I use this one today. Why not?
I'm just putting on some, just kind of zhuzhing up the watercolor a little bit here because you'll notice that with the Brutus Monroe Aqua pigments, they kind of move and flow, and I'm not doing anything super spectacular. I'm just adding color and letting it kind of move and flow wherever it's going to flow.
So, Christopher?
Yes.
Do you have a how-to video on zhuzhing up?
We sure do. If you go to the Brutus Monroe YouTube channel, you can see. I think it's actually called zhuzhed watercoloring. And if you look that up, that is where I teach you how to. Oh, you could use a baby shampoo. Absolutely, yes. I just saw a question. The number one thing is, if it's something that you wouldn't use on your own skin, you do not want to use it on the mat. That is the number one rule of thumb, because the mat was actually created with an adhesive that is going to be able to be used over and over and over and over and over again. But the adhesive will wear down over time, just as any adhesive does. I can tell you that this is my original mat, and I've probably used it over 200 times. So it still has its sticky, but at the price point that it's at, get yourself a couple. Treat yourself to a couple of them.
It's so cheap. It really is.
If the sticky runs out on one, the great thing is you can also use it as a mat. If you're using like an X-Acto knife to cut something out, it will work that way. But I will tell you that it is certainly something that is going to last you for quite some time, just as long as you take care of it and make sure that you replace this little clear sheet over top of it every time that you're done using it.
Yeah, it's really great. And the price point, honestly, it is so inexpensive that it is worth having a couple of them.
Yes.
All right. I got one layer there. I'm going to stamp it again. I've got too many things on my desk in front of me.
Okay, and this is what I'm using is I'm using the Stick and Stamp pigment palette to put my pigments in. And this is just simply a double, it's like a double enclosed laminated palette that can be used for whether you're watercoloring, or you can use it also if you are ink blending. You can turn it on the other side, and if you turn it on the other side, you can use it to kind of tap off your ink when you're blending. Unfortunately, I can't zoom in, Pam. I wish I could, but it won't. My side of things won't allow me to zoom in.
I wonder if we could go solo, if that would make you bigger. Give them a little solo of you. Let's see if that works, Tom. I don't think it makes it any bigger.
No,
it was a good try.
It was a valiant effort. Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. So now for mine here, I'm going to start by coloring these flowers using the Wild Wisteria ink pad. I'm going to start with that, and I'm going to use a little bit of Jelly Bean green ink. I'm going to need small blending brushes for this because I just want to lay down a little bit of color.
Okay.
And when you're cleaning your blending brushes in between use, I recommend, I just don't even ever wash mine. All I do is take a paper towel and I just rub off the last color that was on there. You can see I had some sage on there, so that's a little bit blue-green. I don't want to cross-contaminate. So here we go. You just rub off most of the color. Now, if you're really worried, you can also take your tidy towel and you can just rub it on your tidy towel a little bit, your damp tidy towel, and then rub it, and that'll get any little last bit of residue off of ink. It is, these are a plastic bristle, so they're gonna stain a little bit, but once you get most of that ink off there, it's not really going to transfer, so you don't have to worry about your ink pads. I do have one for each color family, and when I say that, I mean like the rainbow. I have one for reds, one for oranges, one for yellows, because it would make a mess if you used a purple brush on your yellow. But if you're using your, light purple on your dark purple, you can do that without a problem.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm going to start with a little Wild Wisteria here, and I'm going to just ink up just a little bit, get a little bit of color on here. And it's okay if you go outside the lines.
Oh, that's going to be beautiful.
Now, this is a really quick and easy way to color.
Yes, that's kind of where I'm at now too with mine. It's the beautiful thing about using some deeper tones with the watercoloring that I'm doing now is you don't have to stay inside the lines. That's the idea of this. It's a very kind of abstract, very, very vintagey. I mean, I remember and kind of I think the idea of this is those vintage seed packets that used to have the beautiful, beautiful, like vintage kind of almost watered out look to them is really what I think that Betsy was trying to go with this, and that's what I'm trying to emulate, because it really allows you to really move things.
Yeah.
I did not see that question, Penny. No, unfortunately I did not. And Phyllis, yes, my water brush does have water inside.
All right. So I'm just using a little bit of Jelly Bean green here just to accent some of these leaves. And then I'm going to go in and fill in some details with the Prismacolor pencils and blend those out a little bit with Gamsol. So I'm trying to stick within that same purple family, obviously, as my background, because I am going to cut part of this out. So you can see by starting with Wild Wisteria, I'm guaranteed to have some of that in there. Now I'm going to use a little scrap piece of paper. I actually don't need scrap paper. Since I'm cutting this out, I just, I could just, color somewhere else. There are no dyes for this, but I will tell you, give me 1 second. I need a little scrap of paper here. There are no dyes, but I will tell you that this seed packet can be cut out using let me find it here. Gotta find it. The Gina K Designs double stitched or single stitched rectangles.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, so it's designed to be cut out. It actually perfectly fits the single stitched one. Let me see if I can show this to you here. So if you put that down, you could cut this out perfectly with the single stitched. It does cut out the design perfectly. So you might want to cut it first and then stamp it.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you want a little bit of a border around it, you could use the bigger one. But it was designed to work with these two die sets. So it's got that single stitched and double stitched border, which matches all the stitching in here. So the stitching is the same distance apart.
Perfect.
So if you're looking for a die set to cut that seed packet out, that would be these single stitched and double stitched rectangles work perfectly. I think you guys carry them too,
We
Christopher.
sure do. Yep. So now I'm just going in and I'm adding some offset colors. So I am adding in a little bit of yellow now, and then I'm going to add in a little bit of orange. And these colors, as you can see, they're blending out and they're just really, really kind of moving around beautifully on the watercolor paper. And again, this is meant to be a very loosey-goosey watercoloring, and I think that it's going to really turn out great if you just don't stress about it. You just kind of got to grab your aqua pigments or whatever your favorite watercolors are, zhuzh them around on your backdrop, and it's really hard to mess up watercolor. I mean, it's really, really hard. I mean, in my opinion, would you say, Gina, it's
well,
hard
yeah.
to mess up?
Especially this kind of watercoloring that you're doing, kind of that loose watercolor. Yeah, it's real hard to mess that up. I mean, because it's supposed to look kind of all over the place.
Very abstract, yes.
Right.
Yes.
You don't want it to be too patterned, and you don't want it to look perfect.
No.
So I'm using a Prismacolor pencil color called Violet, and I'm just adding some accents in this, and then I'm going to blend them out using a blending stump with a little bit of Gamsol, just to add some depth. And I'm just coloring close to the inside of the petals. This one does have a lot of petals, these flowers, but that's okay. I mean, remember, coloring, of course, you're not on a 1 hour time limit like we are.
Correct.
So when you're coloring, take your time and relax. You don't have to, it's not a race.
No.
Crafting is not a race. It's not about who can make cards the fastest. It's about how much you can enjoy the journey of card making.
100%. And I think that's where everyone gets very caught up in, how quickly things are done when they watch our YouTube videos, right? Everyone always, has to remember that we probably do about 7,000 takes before we get that video perfect. So you might see a video that's perfectly timed in a 10-minute and 45-second, but that may have taken us 5 hours.
Right. That's true.
To get that together.
True. And even with the live videos that we do, we're not, I mean, I kind of go by the seat of my pants on what I'm going to do, but I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm doing techniques that I've done thousands of times before. So give yourself grace.
And plus, I mean, this is our job.
Right.
So,
that's right.
This is what we do. Think about how quickly you're able to do things at your job when you do them day in and day out and over again. So it's really there's no race. And, the person that receives this is really not going to know if you took 10 minutes or if you took 4 hours on it, because the end product is really just going to be stunning in its own because you've created it. I mean, that's really the telltale story is just do what you love, and that's why you're doing it, because you love card making.
That's right. All about enjoying the journey.
Yes.
All right, so I've added some purple in there, and let's see if you guys can see this up close before I start blending it out. So I've just added like little bits of purple kind of where each petal would be growing out of the flower, out of the center of the flower. Beautiful. And now I'm going to use some Gamsol. Now, for those of you that don't like Gamsol, Gamsol is an odorless mineral spirits. Some people aren't big fans of Gamsol, so you could use lavender spike oil, which is a more natural type of solvent for this. You can also use a product in the UK called Zest It, It's an orange-based product, so that's a little more natural. I've been using Gamsol for years. I don't find it to be offensive with the smell. It doesn't bother me. And it is an artist grade product, so I'm not using like the odorless mineral spirits that you get at the Home Depot. You don't want to do that.
Oh, no, no, no.
Yeah. So I'll go in. I'm going to zoom in a little closer here on mine just so that you can kind of see how this blends out. And I'm taking my blending stump and I'm dipping it into the Gamsol for a good couple of seconds. I'm not just doing the boop. That's not enough. You really do have to kind of sit it in there and let some of it absorb into that paper stump.
Yeah. I think of it as like you're refilling your pen. So if you just dunk it in real quick, your pen is not full. So that's kind of how I always like to think of it, as if your pen's not going to run out of ink that quick if you leave it in there for a little bit.
Right, exactly. Good analogy, Christopher.
And I'm gonna show this real quick before I completely dry it, so that you can see what it looks like before it dries, because the aqua pigments are going to actually kind of saturate the paper a little bit more. They are going to tone down a little bit. But what I'm going to do after this is probably going to terrify everyone. I am going to spray it with just a little bit of water because the Brutus Monroe aqua pigments are water reactive. So since they're water reactive, if I spray a little bit of water on top, it's very similar to like a distress ink, it will pull up that color and it's going to give us this beautiful variation and texture. And I just think it's just absolutely going to be the final touch that we need to this top layer.
I appreciate the terrified warning, because we all need to know if we're getting ready to get terrified.
Right. Well, we all, just like I do, Gina, that you have to give a warning before you do something on a live that is out of someone's comfort zone, because immediately everyone shrieks and says, wait a second, what? Halt, stop, don't do it. And I just want to give them a preemptive warning.
I love that. I love that. So these two purples are blending really interestingly together. I like the color. It kind of reminds me of what's going on in the background too, between the wild wisteria and the Wisteria Lane.
Absolutely. And I'm just cleaning off the Stampin' Pigment palette. I know that this is going to be a question. I'm just using some of the matte mist and everything wipes right off of it. But if you are a watercolor rescuer, like I know that there are so many out there that are, if you are a watercolor rescuer or a watercolor saver, you can absolutely leave it on this palette. The aqua pigments from Brutus Monroe will dry completely solid, and you can just add a little water and you can reconstitute them again. We actually, when we were testing this, Michael actually left aqua pigments on this palette, I believe, for like 3 or 4 days to make sure that it wouldn't stain the palette, but also to make sure that they would dry on there completely. And it's great. But the real reason that it was created in the size that it was, because I know that will be a question as well, is it fits perfectly at the top of your stick and stamp mat. So when you're coloring, you just pop your base here and you can put all your watercolors up here and you just color to your heart's content.
I love that thing. I just got it.
It makes it super easy. And then this side, you dab off your blending tool when you're blending, because the problem with blending, at least in my experience, is if you're dabbing off your blending tool on a piece of paper, you're removing a lot of the ink. And you really don't want to waste that ink. So if you dab it on a non-porous surface like this, you can pick it back up and use it again. So you're not, dabbing off on a piece of paper and then losing all that beautiful ink.
Smart.
All right, I'm getting ready to spritz, everyone.
All right, everybody hold your breath.
Brace yourselves. And you're going to see that this will also make the color move a little bit and make it even more muted back. But I'll do a close-up once I pull up the water with a paper towel.
So now I'm adding, while Christopher's doing that, I'm adding a little bit of moss green to the bottom of each of these leaves, and I'm just going to bring that color up as well.
Beautiful.
This is, the hardest part about this card is going to be for me is figuring out where to cut this flower apart.
I knew that was coming.
Yep, because I don't know. I'm going to want to keep the whole thing, but it's okay. I mean, we're going to just have a little bit of this flower showing on the card.
Yes.
You know,
All right, so
you
I'm gonna
talk about
take my-
shriek.
Yes, I'm going to take my paper towel now, and I'm just going to press it ever so gently right on top of my card. And you'll see, I'll flip this over so you can see how it pulls that. See how it pulled just ever so gently some of that color. And then I'll show you, you can see how it's really muted back those colors. So now the star of the show again is that beautiful Wisteria embossing powder. And it's no longer those very, very, very harsh colors because, again, the beauty of the aqua pigments and most watercolors that you would use, especially a liquid watercolor, is water will always reconstitute and it will always make it shift and always make it move. So I guess a cool watercoloring tip would be if it's too abrasive in the respect of it's too dark or you think it's a little too intense, spritz it with a little bit of water, let it sit for a couple of seconds, and take your paper towel, dab it right on top, and it's going to pull some of that color.
Smart. That's great that it does that, that you could just keep going and kind of decide how much you want.
Yes, yes, yes.
I love that.
Okay, so I'm going to pick real quick a piece of paper to map this on. We just launched the Bountiful Blooms paper pack, which it's so hard because I love all of the paper packs that we've come out with recently because they are so different and vivid, and you know they're kind of all over the place, as is the Brutus Monroe product line. But this paper right here, which is these butterflies, they're all butterflies, but this butterfly, I just feel like, I mean, do y'all think that this would just, I mean, you're only going to see a tiny little bit of it, but I just feel like this for the background is exactly what we need.
I like that.
And of course, I think this will be Gina's favorite. This with the teals and the
Oh,
oranges
yeah,
and the
yeah,
yellow.
yeah. Oh, I love that.
So these are, and the great thing about them is you can cut the butterflies out if you want to. But I just wanted to throw in a pattern paper that is, you know, just it's going to give just a little bit of visual interest because this is busy. But I just think that if we just have a little peek around, it'll just add kind of that. What are those the quilted bags? I'm trying to think of the name of that brand.
Oh, I know what you're talking
The
about. Oh
beautiful
my
pattern,
gosh. Oh, what's her name? Come
what
on,
is her
guys.
name?
Yeah.
Someone will help us, but
I
that's
know.
kind of what I'm thinking for this particular card is just a little peek of that pattern.
Oh, I can't think of her name. Yeah, but
Vera
I know
Bradley, there it
yes,
is.
Vera Bradley. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, Vera Bradley.
So I'm going to cut my panel down to 4 by 5 1/4 so that I can layer it.
All right, and I've got my flower done here. So now I'm going to cut out a portion of this. So I am going to have to cut some off because I want this to kind of be in the center here. So, well, you know what? I think what I'll do is I think I'm going to use one of our rectangle dies because then I can kind of judge what it's going to look like before I actually cut it.
There you go.
So let's just see here. Oh, and if anybody's looking for those magnetic sheets for your dies, I see that was a question.
Yep.
You can get those at Stampin' Storage. They do all of the magnetic dies for us. Okay, so I'm just going to look at that and see what that looks like. I want to see because that might be, I might not like that. That might just be too much taken off, but I'm going to put some Post-it notes around it to see.
There we go.
Let's just see what it looks like here. Ooh, I kind of like it.
I'm just cutting my pattern paper down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 to go right on top of our card base. I just want to let everybody know because I know that measurements are always appreciated. So it's just the size to fit right on top.
Christopher, I can't do this.
I know it's tough.
I can't cut this much.
It's tough. You might.
They want me to make a different card with it.
I was gonna say, you might have to do a 5 by 7.
Oh, a 5 by, yeah. Well, okay. All right, I'll do that. I'm going to make a 5 by 7. Okay.
There you go.
So we're going to cut this out with the master layouts too. So I'm still going to crop some of this.
Okay.
All right.
But it won't be as detrimental.
No, won't be as devastating.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I will use master layouts too. So I am going to cut it like right about there. Okay.
Oh, that's perfect.
Okay, so let me get my die cutting machine. Oh, God. As I get older, this thing's getting heavier.
Fun fact, before I even started the Brutus Monroe Company, before I even thought of anything crafting, one of the very first videos that I ever watched for crafting was Miss Gina K herself. And I can remember you used to use, and I don't even know if the machine still exists, but I think I told you this story before. You used to use a die cutting machine that was almost the size of your table. And
yeah, I did.
I used to love whatever it had to have weighed at least 3,000 pounds, because every time you would do the die cutting, there would always be a cutaway. So it would cut from what you were doing to the die cutting machine. And I was like, that poor thing, she has to cut away because that machine is a Buick. I mean, that machine, she couldn't, and it just reminded me when you were lifting that up, I was like, she had to cut away because she probably had to get Anthony Crane in to get that machine up onto the table. I just loved watching all of your, I mean, I still watch your videos. I don't have as much time as I used to back in the day, where I would just daydream of having a craft company and watch you and just be in awe of Stamp TV. And I just thought of that memory with that giant machine.
That is so funny. That is so funny, Christopher. And it's so true. And then the Cuttlebug came to my rescue.
I love
that one
the
was
Cuttlebug.
smaller and lighter. Yeah,
I still love that Cuttlebug.
I do too.
It was one of my favorites. I mean, the Platinum 6 has definitely replaced everything in my entourage, just because the Cuttlebug, you can't get the plates or anything anymore. But that Cuttlebug was something that it was a game changer at the time because of its size. Yes,
definitely. All right, so I committed to a 5x7 card here because I have envelopes that work with that.
Perfect.
So I'm going to cut this down 10 inches by 7 inches.
There we go.
All right, so 10 inches.
I'm just using a little bit of easy tear tape on the back of my panel to position it.
All right. And then I'm going to score this at 5 inches. So this is going to be a bigger card. You know what? My mom would have loved this card. I tell this story often. My mom has passed away. But before she passed away, every Mother's Day, every Christmas, my mother would equate the size of the card to the amount of love.
Oh.
She didn't like A2 cards because she didn't think I loved her enough when I gave her an A2 card. So knowing that we have Slimline, which is big, the regular Slimline, and this 5x7, she would have loved this. So I will make this card in honor of my mom.
I love it.
All right, so I'm going to take this off of here because I still want to use this, right? And I think what I'm going to do, let's see here. I didn't cut that very well. Let me trim that.
I don't cut mine very well either. I cut it a half-inch short.
Oh, you did? Well, this is live TV, so that's par for the course.
The pattern paper and not the thing I just spent 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank God.
Yes.
Even if it had been, you would have made it work.
We would have figured it out. This would have become a slimline card real quick.
Yep. Exactly.
I think that's honestly, I've said this, I think, on a couple of other lives. I think slimline cards actually came to be because someone messed up a card. Because
I think so.
It is such an odd size. And I mean, although don't get me wrong, I love them, but I feel like someone cut something a little bit too long or a little bit different. And it's a slim line. Here we go.
Right, exactly. So I think I'm going to do this layout here.
Oh, beautiful.
And then I'm going to add my greeting down here at the bottom. Although if I do it this way, which I tend to want to, I could add that little greeting up here at the top.
Oh, yeah, I think that way.
Yeah, I think so too. All right.
Option 2. Yep.
So I peeled that off, so I got to add more tape. And we'll do a nice border here. We'll get that nice border even on the side and the top.
There we go.
And then we'll do the same thing down here, even on the side and the top, or the bottom and the side. So this way I got more of the flower. It was kind of sad to cut that whole flower away, especially after coloring.
I'm going to grab one of our pre-cut and scored card bases. I know, Gina, I believe you have the pre-cut and scored card bases as well.
You know, we have white.
Oh, you have white. Yeah,
Yep,
that's all we
yep.
have as well, is the white, the side fold. But honestly, if you have never used a pre-scored, pre-cut card base, I don't think you've lived, because it is the easy to be able to grab a stack of them and not have to worry about scoring and cutting down a card base. It's the best treat you can give yourself.
It is. It truly is. Okay, so let me grab Master Layouts 4 here. I think, is that going to be a good one? No. I have to look through my master layouts and find just the right flag die to see if I have one that's going to work. Let's see. Does this have flags? This is Master Layouts 5. I think I'm going to use Master Layouts 5 here.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is I want to see how this is going to look. So I'm thinking, your friendship means so much. I'm going to use that.
I think that's perfect.
Stamp that onto a flag. I feel like I could put these a little bit closer together in the center of this card. I know. You have a little wiggle room with thermoweb tape.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you let it sit for, a couple hours, it does become permanent, but you've got wiggle room there. I'm just using a mono sand eraser to get rid of that tape.
Especially the dot adhesive. Yours is a dot adhesive, correct, Gina?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
The dot adhesive is the forgiving one, which is nice. I still got to put more tape on it. I'm going to come in closer with this. I'm going to make a wider border.
Okay. And then I think I'm also going to use the your friendship means so much as well.
Yeah, because, here we are.
Here we are. Friends.
Right. Yeah, there we go. I like that a little bit better. I think that works a little bit better. And then I'll bring that flag in on the top. Okay, so I'm going to cut up this card base that I changed my mind on, that you guys made me change my mind on. And I'm going to stamp. I'm going to stamp this. It's a brand new stamp, so I got to kind of season it a little bit with my fingers here.
Yep, I'm going to do the same with mine, because I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp my sentiment. And I want to show everyone just a quick tip that this is something that has saved my life about 1,000,000 times whenever I'm doing cards. If you've ever done your card and you've assembled it all the way, like I did, and you haven't stamped your sentiment yet, this could make it very, very difficult to stamp your sentiment, and it would make it very, very difficult for you to get the sentiment on there well. With the stick and stamp mat, you can just take this, put this inside of your card, and then place the whole thing down. So now, normally, if you tried to set this on a piece of paper, this would be flapping up and it would be all over the place. This secures your entire card to whatever stamp positioner that you're using, and it's not going to go anywhere. So all you do is just place your stick and stamp mat inside, or excuse me, place your stick and stamp mat inside of your card, put it right there in your MISTI, and bam, you're all done. It makes
I love that.
Makes it so easy. And to tell you the truth, I personally don't like putting my my sentiments on until later anyway. So this makes it super simple.
That does. All right. So we've had questions of where they can get this stamp set. Is that the question, Tom?
Yes.
So you can get this stamp set in the What's New category at ginakdesigns.com.
Mhm.
You can also get it at brutusmonroe.com.
Yep.
And you can get it over at Simon Says Stamp.
Yep. I think it's going to be the same
and the
category
powder,
for
too.
each. Probably
Yes.
the new. In
Yep,
each place.
new. And the powder, too.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I'm just taping off this little flag here just to make sure that I cut it evenly. And I'm going to die cut this. I'm telling you, I have to make sounds now when I die cut.
That's how I am too. It doesn't work if you don't.
It absolutely does not work if you don't. So I'm thinking about putting that up there. What do you think?
I think that's perfect.
Yeah? Okay. All right. I'm going to do that then. Okay, so I don't want to throw this away. So always remember to take your die off of your paper. I did throw my leaf dies away. I was devastated, but it happens, I guess. You only do it once, though.
Right.
Right. Okay. Now, Christopher, are the stick and stamp mats back in stock yet?
They are, but I will say that if you want to grab one, I would say that you do it this week because what our forecast is currently for the inventory we have is it's probably only going to last until about Friday. That is probably where we're at, which is exciting and also a shame at the same time because we just got them back last Tuesday.
Yeah,
so
they're a hot item.
Yeah, so hopefully we have already ordered another batch of the exact same amount, but we are going to be doing something special with the mat for October. I can't give any details on that yet, but there will be a very special limited edition mat that we are going to get in October as well. But they are in stock right now, but I don't know how much longer.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to add a few little dewdrops here, little water dewdrops. These are the Gina K Clear dewdrops.
Oh, well, maybe I need to do something like that too.
Yeah, I think we need a little something. Too many?
I'm going to grab some of these. These aren't Brutus Monroe, but these are, I don't know if you've ever seen these, Gina. These are from, are you familiar with Buttons Galore and More, I'm sure?
Oh, yeah.
They sell these kits, and I grab this like every day.
That's awesome.
They have like, I think 12 different kinds in them. So I generally, because it's so hard to make up your mind. That's why we don't have double-sided cardstock at Brutus Monroe. Life's hard enough. I don't want you to have to choose which side you're using.
We didn't do double-sided pattern paper for the same exact reason, because I get so frustrated.
Yeah.
And it never fails. My two favorite patterns are on the same piece.
Always.
Yep. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm going to put a few dewdrops on here. This is the Gina K Designs Connect glue, and I put it in one of our fine tip bottles. These do not clog. If you squeeze it and you can't get it out, it's because your glue dried on the top. Just peel the little bit of glue off and you'll be able to squeeze it every time. I've never had one of these clog yet. I love
that.
Yes. All right, so let's get rid of these here. I'm going to put a little dot there and a little dot there. I like to lay it out first and check.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yep. Can't make the commitment until I know it's going to look good.
Correct. Absolutely.
So, Christopher, here's a question for you. I know you're not going to say no. I probably should have asked you off camera, but I'm going to ask you on camera. Whenever Tom and I go live, we always give my card away.
Absolutely.
So, would you like to give your card away too?
I would love to do that. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So we'll give both of these cards away.
Yes.
Today. And Tom randomly picks from all the comments. And right now we've got about 1,640 people here.
Fantastic.
Over all our platforms, welcoming all of our Facebook friends, all of our Twitch friends, and all of our YouTube friends.
Awesome.
So we can see everybody's comment here as they come in. So Tom randomly picks from all the comments. So that's how you win cards. I've made some cards, though, that weren't really that exciting, and I always felt bad for the winners.
Oh, please.
My card's done.
Yep, my card's done, too. A little bit
of... Oh, that's gorgeous, Christopher.
A little
oh, look at all that sparkle. Beautiful.
This one's going to have to go out in a bubble mailer. This is a bubble mailer card.
Yep, mine is too, because it's got those little dewdrops on it. So either a bubble mailer or a nice bunch of padding on top of that 5x7. All right. Oh, this was so much fun.
Sure was.
I love it. So I'm going to my front shot.
Me too.
Christopher, this was amazing and so much fun.
It was.
So the name of the stamp set is Seeds of Joy, available at BrutusMonroe.com, GinaKDesigns.com, and our friends over at Simon Says Stamp have it too. Yeah. And we're going to, I don't know, is this a limited edition? We're going to keep it for a while? We'll keep it for a little while.
I guess we'll see how much everybody loves it.
Yes.
the great thing about when you design and you're able to get things from the manufacturer pretty quickly is that if you guys love it a lot, we can bring it back. Or I mean, I have a feeling though that this stamp is not going to last long. I have a sneaking suspicion that it is not going to last very long. But we'll see how quickly it goes and how quickly we can get it back in. But I'd say it's probably going to be a limited edition in the respect of how long we'll bring it back. But you know what that means? That just means
you do another one. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the seed packet is such a great theme for the upcoming spring and summer season. So, and fall too. There's fall planting.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of a nice one for your collection, especially for the gardeners in your life, and so many ways to use it.
And all you would have to do really is just mask off this flower, right? And you could do whatever you want inside.
Absolutely.
So if you wanted to,
that's brilliant. Yeah.
Flower or use your one. You have that one stamp set for recipes. I mean, you could put carrots. You could put, whatever you want on here.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, Tom. So let's pick some winners. So let's give away my card first.
All right.
Ladies first.
All right. The winner of Gina's card is Karen Nuthaks.
Hey, Karen.
Nuthaks.
Congratulations, Karen. All right. Okay. Now, who is going to get Christopher's beautiful card?
Okay.
I love that card, Christopher. It's gorgeous.
The winner of Christopher's card is Barb Bartz.
Hey, Barb. Congratulations. Yay, Barb. That's awesome. So both of our winners can email our customer service at info@ginakdesigns.com, and then we will make sure that send your name and address and which card you won. And then the winner of Christopher's card, we'll just get that information directly to Christopher. Perfect. And he can get that out to you.
We'll get it out to you. Perfect.
All right. Well, Christopher, thank you so much for joining me today. Tom and I have so much fun with you.
I had so much fun as well. And we'll be together again for the Create Your Own Ending event, right? That's the next time we'll be together.
Is registration still open for that?
I believe it closes Friday.
Okay, so why don't you tell everybody about that before we go?
Oh, okay. So the Create Your Own Ending event, Miss Gina will be teaching with us again, and we're so excited that she'll be teaching with us again. The Create Your Own Ending event is something that was conceived by our Michael, of course, again, and it's an event that he put together to make sure that every level of crafter had the ability to create. So this year, it's a little bit different because we had so many requests from folks to do different types of seasonal cards. So the brainchild, again, that is Michael, decided, why not do all the seasons? It's really hard for us to choose. So if you are joining us, or if you register for the Create Your Own Ending event, you will actually be able to make, I'm fairly certain that there are, every season is going to be, every type of card you'll want to make will be covered. We have fall, we have Halloween, we have Get Well, we have Christmas, we have every single thing that you would want to make a card for, you'll be able to. And we have all different brands that are teaching with us. So if you just go to the Create Your Own Ending event at brutusmonroe.com, you'll be able to see everyone that's teaching. The great thing is it's virtual. So what will happen is you'll get your box of goodies in the mail with all of the different items. And from the comfort of your own home and your PJs, if you want, you can craft along with all of us. And I think we're going to have one heck of a time.
We really are. And can I tell them what theme I'm teaching?
I think they're probably going to be able to guess. Can you guys guess? Can you guys guess what theme Gina is going to be teaching? I bet you they're going to be able to guess. She is the queen of this holiday every year whenever her products come out. So I have a feeling that you'll be able to guess which holiday Gina will be featuring.
That's right.
Yep. I'm saying it.
Yeah, Christmas.
Yes.
I get Christmas this year,
Yes.
so that's going to be so much fun. So so make sure you sign up for that event, because I'm teaching along with a lot of other teachers from other companies.
Yes.
I love the way you're bringing us all together, Christopher.
It's what I think that that we do best at Brutus Monroe is we really do love everyone. We want all of us to flourish together, and we can only do that by helping each other out. There really doesn't need to be any competition in our industry because we're all so different and so unique in our own ways. And I know that everyone in the chat loves when we are able to collaborate and be together, because I don't think a lot of people know that we can be friends in real life.
Yeah, and we really are.
Yeah, a lot of the time we're just talking, kind of bobbleheads here and chatting together. But I could tell you that I could text message Gina at 1 a.m. and she can text message me. And as long as that phone ringer is on, we help each other out. And that's really what you want in a true friend. And I love you dearly, my friend. And I
love
thank
you
for
too.
having me today.
You're welcome. And tell everybody's asking, what's the date for the event?
Ooh, that would be a good question. Hold on one moment. Let me take a look. If I know Michael like I know Michael, I guarantee it will be text message to me within 30 seconds. But let me go on to our website real quick.
Okay, and while you're looking, Christopher, while you're looking, I've had this question. Some of you know from the beginning of the show, I talked about Tom and I are going to be changing our live schedule.
Oh, yeah.
So our new live schedule, Tom and I will be going live Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Central Time. So the same time, but a day later. So Tuesday nights and Thursday at noon Central Time for Crafternoon. Yeah. Then I'll be popping up my 5-minute card video over the weekend. All right. So, hey, everybody's helping.
Thank goodness for the chat. I mean,
yes.
The chat, there's about 50 people.
Okay. And the Create Your Own Ending event is going to be August 18th through the 21st. And you can find all the information on that over at the brutusmonroe.com website. Click on Create Your Own Ending, and you'll be able to find out and register for the event. That registration closes on Friday.
I believe it's Friday, yes.
Yeah. So get in
Friday, or when the spots are gone, because I think everyone should know that the spots aren't unlimited. We have to make sure that we give these numbers to our different brands that we're working with, because we right now with supply issues the way that they still are, and Gina knows this is just as much as I do, that we don't have a huge window, we don't have a smaller window like we used to get things manufactured.
Yeah,
supply chain issues. 4 weeks can take 8, 12, plus. Lots and lots of weeks. So we have to make sure we get everything together. And August may seem like it's super far away right now, but it'll be here before we know it.
Absolutely. And then as far as my schedule is concerned, so this week it's a little wonky. I actually will be live tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central. Then Thursday, I have a 5-minute card video for you. And Saturday, I have a 5-minute card video for you. So this week, I'm only going live twice, today with Christopher and tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Then starting next week, the new schedule starts. Tuesday, Thursday, and then most Saturdays. I'm not real committal with the 5-minute card video because it just depends on my time. I sure try. All right. Well, Christopher, we've gone over. I appreciate you taking so much time for everybody today. And for us, we had so much fun with you. And let's do this again real soon, my friend.
Yes, please, please, please.
All right, everybody. All right, Christopher, and I will talk to you soon. We're going to take you out of the screen, but love you so much.
Love you. Goodbye, my friends. Thank you.
All right. Isn't he so much fun? I love him. Make sure you check out his event. Make sure you check out these new products. And Tom and I will be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Time for our own live. And I'm going to be doing something with our new card kit. I know a lot of you are starting to get your card kits in the mail. Also, if you missed out on that kit, we are doing another run. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you join the wait list for that product. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining us. We love you all so very much. Stay healthy. Stay safe, and we'll see you again tomorrow night. Bye-bye.